Well, in this part, I a little bit want to talk on the outsourcing. Actually, in the value chain parts, we have a little bit talked on. Well, when we are talking on a company and different at different stages, different values were added, and actually those functions can be taken by different companies. Um, In case of outsourcing, well, in some cases this is also true for a multiple multinational corporations where different functions of the company are given to the different branches in the company, and also internationally certain. I mean, especially when you have different bureaus in different places, multinational company might be able to look to take services from other companies that are doing that service basically. So when we think about the multinational company, we see a company is expanding, but outsourcing is the other type of trends in the global capital, and it's kind of the value chain from the global capital perspective. It is the case when the company is actually shrinking and giving certain functions to the buying from certain companies, certain functions, instead of basically producing them by themselves. And here you can see some kind of a chart of the company, which is flow of market needs and ideas, flow of sources is the resources are the entry part, and products and services and the waste are the exit part. And certain companies might also be specified in management of waste, for example. Um, Other manufacturers, you have original equipment manufacturer, the original thing, manufacturing other things that are needed for the company. You have service organizations necessary for the company, and you have transportation organization in the company. And certain functions, production of certain inputs might be an example, but also, for example, food services within the company, as it is done in the University of Utah, for example, might be outsourced. For example, in some companies you have large dining halls, but even there, in some cases, a single company is providing that dining service. But the company might also give some coupons to the workers so that they can eat from the restaurants nearby. That's also an example of outsourcing, for example. Outsourcing is advantageous because, well, the cost advantage is usually the main thing, and it can be achieved because, uh, well, a single company who is providing food for its workers is just producing sufficient food necessary for its workers. But a company that is specialized in serving meals to the workers of different companies might be maybe producing in some cases tens of thousands of meals per day, basically. So they might also benefit from the scale of production and by certain inputs, at least in mass scale. That might be one thing, and also those companies might be better in innovations, basically, innovations, and also the skills. They might specialize in development of certain skills that are necessary for them for that type of production, basically. Uh, the quality uh, of the service or output that is bought from this outsourced company. I mean, the quality of the input materials, the semi-finished products that are bought from these companies might be better than the ones that can be produced by the company itself, which might also be, for example, the waste management might be in better quality, or flow of resources might be in better quality. For example, they might be damaging products that are brought less when they are using when basically transportation organization is used, or if something needs to be cooled, that cooling can be done more efficiently, or if they use an inferior input because cooling was not available. For example, the company might have some cooling devices which might now allow the company, the main company, to have more, let's say, better inputs, which needed to be cooled to maintain its quality in its basic product. So, in other words, this company that is to which you are outsourcing your product might be part of the function of your company, might bring you either cost advantages or give you a service or an input of your product with higher quality. Of course, it might bring a disadvantage of being basically your workers might have, in a non-outsourced company, some cross skills by shifting to different departments. Those skills might be, the company might be too specialized on something, some specific task of the production, rather than basically knowing different necessary steps of production, which might be especially critical if for some reason you are not able to buy those products or services from the foreign companies, the other companies basically. And also, to some extent, the company might also lose control of the quality of the input that is produced. For example, well, it was in my case actually. In the United States, at least, they have offered me the companies, the book selling companies, offered me to making my whole course process going through their website, and they also offered me to have homework support. In that case, preparation of the homeworks and grading would be done by the company that was producing the book, which seems at first a very good offer. But the homeworks are not like the ones I like. There are multiple choice homeworks, and I think multiple choice assignments are actually not contributing to the development of the students, so I have actually rejected it. So this loss of control might be an important thing, especially if you think the standardized products have some deficiencies, basically. Standardized products that are provided by the outsourced companies have deficiencies. So this outsourcing is another aspect which is actually creating international cooperation between different companies in the world. Actually, let me show you some data from an article I have on outsourcing. Well, this is UK, and I took that from this article. And you can see here, for manufacturing sector, the demand for the goods of manufacturing sector has increased from 1989 to 1998. However, supply has continuously decreased. So actually, this difference was actually get from the foreign companies to which the manufacturing goods are outsourced. And here you can see the share of the manufacturing sector to total output, which was 25 to, it was between 25% to 23%. Basically, when you add outsourcing to it, and you can see actually outsourcing in millions input output serves input output tables. So you can see that share when you include the outsourcing is much greater than the, in most cases, significantly greater than the case when you just look to the manufacturing. Although this outsourcing is in no way constant, as you can see, for example, in the last year, it is relatively very small. So you might just basically buy the output from foreign companies for 1 year, but then you might decide to, maybe you might decide to buy from the local suppliers, or you might decide to produce them yourself. Maybe you have not, if you have not lost the ability, or new companies might rather decide to build, bring back the previous outsource products, tasks inside of the company. So this process of outsourcing and bringing the tasks into the company, that's certain tasks done previously from outside of the company back to the company, which is sometimes called vertical integration. This in that case the processes are the tasks are viewed as if they are done one after another. Basically, it's not necessarily so. There can be many tasks that are done in the same time. But vertical integration is based on this idea. And when you are making actually two tasks necessary in transformation of, for example, wheat to all the way to a bread, vertical integration means you are increasing. More tasks are included into your company, basically. So this is the basically article on the outsourcing. Now we can go back to the to our slides, and there is a website you can look to on the multiple corporations names, and it provides their names and information on them. I am encouraging you to do that. However, I won't spend time in today's lecture. I will go further. Now, as a last point, I want to show you some points from some graphs from the Piketty's Capital, the book Capital in the 20th Century, which is showing certain trends of the capital. Global trends, although it focuses on certain nations. It has graphs for multiple nations to show that those trends are similar, at least for the developed world. He actually has two fundamental law of the capitalism. First law basically states that the share of capital's share of income, which is represented as alpha, is multiplication of R, which is the profit rate, times beta, and we don't see what that beta is at first. In the second fundamental law of capitalism, we can see the beta. Beta is savings over the growth rate, basically. So it depends on the savings. R times savings basically gives you, savings are the amount of money you invest for invest basically in the economy, and R times savings is the share of capital, the return of capital. And the growth rate shows how much the overall income is increasing. We will continue in the next part since we are close to 15 minutes mark.